Bonjour, Kinamagi and Ireland Indigenous, and welcome to this production of the My Math Network. Today's lesson, Chapter 9, Lesson 13, Subtract with Renaming. Let's begin by looking at the answers to last session's work. Basic plan, we needed to find common denominators. We subtract the numerators without changing the denominator, subtract the whole numbers, and if necessary, we would simplify the fraction piece. That's what means simplest form or lowest terms. So where this would have been 2/8, 4 and 2/8, we'd simplify it to 4 1/4. Other answers included 8 and 5/12 because 12 is the least common multiple of 3 and 4. And then this one was just 1/2. 5/6 minus 2/6 was 3/6, which simplified to 1/2. On the back side, 3 1/3 gallons, 2 1/6 years, 7 and 5/12 pounds, 8 and 1/12 cups, and then C. Let's look at today's work. Today, we get to regroup, which I refer to as renaming. The essential question here, how can equivalent fractions help me add and subtract fractions? I need that equivalency to be able to actually do it. Let's begin on this page here. Why would I have to rename a mixed number when subtracting? Well, have you ever tried to get something from nothing? I can't subtract 1/2 on the fraction piece of this from 0. So what I need is to regroup. And that part's going to stay the same. Now what do I do? Well, remember from a previous lesson that 3 is really 1, 2, and 3. I could regroup these by making them 1/2, just like this. And so I could have 2 whole ones. And I could take this one that's 1 and 2 pieces and make it 2 and 2 halves. Now, once I have that, and I could have just left those plain, now I can subtract. 2 minus 1 is 1, so it's 1 1/2. 2 minus 1 is 1. I get a difference of 1 1/2. Six minus 2 and 4/5. Why do I need to rename 6 to show more fifths? Can you subtract 4 from 0? Not in these situations. So 5 and since we're going into fifths, we're going to go 5 and 5/5. And 5/5, remember, equals 1 plus your 5. And we're going to subtract 2 and 4/5. And 5 minus 4 is 1. Keep the denominator. 5 minus 2 is 3. I get 3 1/5. It's very similar to the regrouping that we've done with decimals and whole numbers all school year and going back into past years. Just making it easier and making it something we can work with. Let me see the answer. Use the models to show 6 minus 2 and 4/5. I'll just hit that right there. You could do the model version. We got rid of 2. So there's your 3. And we had taken one of the, where they talked about 5 and then 1. That 1 we broke into fifths. So now we have 1, 2, 3. And we got rid of 4 of these, the 1/5. All right, let's do this one here. 2 1/3 minus 3, or 1 3/8. First, we need a common denominator. And the least common multiple, 3 and 8, is 24. So it's going to be 2 8/24 minus 1 9/24. So at this point, I've already skipped ahead and got the common denominator. But now I need to rename. And how I do that is I'm going to take 1 away from the 2. So leave me at 1. And then how many, each of that 1 would have been divided into 24 pieces. So 24 plus 8 is 32. Once you regroup or rename, basically you add the denominator and the numerator because of how it just kind of works out. So I have 1 32/24 minus 1 9/24. 32 minus 9 is going to be 23. And it's over 24 still because we don't subtract the denominator. 1 and 1 is 0. So you could write 0 or you could leave it blank. So our final answer is 23 and over 24. Let's get into the textbook here. This will be on page 689, the final lesson of chapter 9. That means that next week we'll be reviewing and having an assessment. If there's a snow day, I guess it'd be even before that. Remember to fill these in as we go. That provides you with an artifact that you can use to look back on when doing the homework. And if there's a point where when I say I'm about to clear the screen, that usually gives you a second or so, maybe 2 seconds tops, to pause the video. That way you can finish what you need to do and adjust accordingly. So let's look at example basic. A black sea cucumber has an average length of 2 feet. A spotted sea cucumber has an average length of 1 1/3 feet. How much longer is the average black sea cucumber than the average spotted sea cucumber? So first we'll estimate 2 minus 1 is 1. So go ahead and write that 1 there. A lot of times you'll do this part in your head, in all honesty. I cannot subtract 1 from 0/3, so I'm going to rename. And you can see what they did here is we kept the 1, but we took one of them and put it into thirds. So now we have 1 3/3. So that's how it looks visually, minus 1 1/3. So I could cut out 1/3 here. And then when I subtract the whole ones, I'm going to get rid of that. So now what do I have left? 3 minus 1 is 2, 2/3. And my image over here matches up. You're welcome to draw something like this to give yourself a reminder. It's not something you're obligated to do, but it's not really a bad idea either. So go ahead and write those couple things in. And we'll move forward. Again, on the bottom of the page, it's going to say 2/3 again, but we'll get to that in a second. So I'm going to clear the drawing. And I'll just get to right here. So that's 2/3 again, and 1 is pretty close to 2/3. So go ahead and write that again. And then we'll return to the top of page 690, for example, niche. or 4 1/4 minus 2 5/8. Helpful hint, you can always check by using fraction tiles or drawing a picture like they did on the previous. Make sure I have it right here. 4 1/4 and 2 5/8. Well, I need a common denominator, and 4 goes into 8, so this will be 4 2/8 minus 2 5/8. So we're going to need to rename. I guess I don't have to do that. 4 2/8 to show more 8s. So as I move to the next spot here, um, four 2/8. I'm going to take 1 away. I'm going to regroup. When I regroup, I add the denominator and numerator, so I get 10/8. So there's 3 10/8 minus 2 5/8. Now I subtract. 10 minus 5 is 5. You don't subtract denominators. And then 3 minus 2 is 1. So our difference is 1 5/8. And they wrote it again at the bottom so you can see it. So my little helpful hint, when you're renaming, take 1 away from the whole, and your new numerator is what was already there plus the denominator. Because in essence, that 1 whole became 8/8. 8 plus 2 is 10. Give you a few seconds to complete this one before we move on. All right, so let me go ahead and clear the drawing. Did we do it right? All right, now we're on the guided practice. I'd like you to do this one independently. You'll pause the video, unpause the video when you're ready to check your work. Go ahead and pause the video now. Welcome back. Let's go ahead. And first, we're going to rename this 5 2/5. And so 1 comes, I take 1 away from the whole numbers. And then 5 plus 2 is 7. So I have 7/5. 7 minus 4 is 3. Don't regroup the 5, or don't subtract the denominator. 4 minus 3 is 1. So you should have found an answer of 1 3/5. Again, renaming is just taking a whole one. So let's see if we can't draw that out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's 1. We had all of this and these two right here. We got rid of 3. And we needed to make this one again. So we got rid of 4 there. 2. And you see we have 1 3/5 left. I'm going to go ahead and clear the drawing. What steps would I use? I would regroup, so I have 2 9/7. Then I subtract, and I'd get 1 5/7. All right, here's an opportunity for you to practice. I'd like you to do numbers 1, 2, and 3. When you do them, pause before you start doing them. Pause the video. Unpause the video when you're done. Let me pause the video now. Welcome back. Let's see how you did. All right, so we have a 2 3/4, 1 5/6, and 3/4. Because this became 3 11/8. 11 minus 6. 11 minus 5 is 6. and 6/8 became 3/4, and then 3 minus 1 was 2. Right here, 2 6. So this is 2 and 7 6. So we get 1 and 5 6. This became 4 and 5/4 minus 4 and 2/4. So we get 3/4. At this point, I believe you should be ready to move into the assignment. Remember, you are welcome to draw a picture to check your work. Estimate in your head. Remember to borrow or from over here. So when you do that, you take 1 away from there, and then your new numerator is the sum of the numerator and denominator. So it gives 1 and 9/8. And from there, I'll let you check it out. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me during class time. Have a minute, Minwa, Pama P.